Hello. Top of the afternoon or evening. It's evening here. I'm in Eldoret, and yeah, welcome to this month series. Not really. Yeah, this month exploration of uh, spiritual and psychological principles. So for this month, this is literally the last day of the month. I hope I'm next to the road, so I hope it's not too loud. But this month, I wanted us to examine, or I wanted to share my thoughts on 1.5 spiritual laws and an astrological phenomenon that is very famous in mainstream media. So the full law I want to talk about is what is commonly known as the law of attraction, but mainly I think it's a principle of thought and the power of thoughts. And then the half law is on judgementalism, because I don't think, or I'm not aware of universal law, what we call universal laws, that actually talk about judgmentalism, but like judging. But it's also something that I've noticed this month and I wanted to talk about. And then the last thing will be about the Mercury Retrograde, which is like a common phenomenon. So anyway, let's start with the first one. So all through, and I think I've said this like before, like all through ancient texts and religions and philosophers and all those things, they always talk about the power of thought and how thought plays a role in shaping our reality and creating our reality. So personally, I have seen that in practice over the past few years, and I don't know if it's also something you've noticed in your life, that when you concentrate on a specific thought, you can see basically like your reality shifting to support that thought form. So like, for instance, like you will get people talking about it, get opportunities about it, see it on TV. And so also another thing, in cognitive behavioral therapy, it's something that is also very revered. It's something that cognitive behavioral therapy is basically built on, like how our thoughts affects our emotions and in turn affects our actions. So for instance, like if you think that you're a bad person, you feel sad or angry. And like if you think negative thoughts, you have negative feelings, and you are more likely to, like, let's say, not work or give up on something so easily because of the thought form that you have in your mind. And in spirituality, that's such a big thing, and something that for me was being brought into attention this month, like just to be mindful of what the thoughts that I'm having about myself, my life and my experience, because it really plays a big role in how I'm going to experience my life in this dimension and in this lifetime. So like for me, I felt like that is important to talk about, so that now when we're reviewing our year and reflecting and also planning on what we're going to be doing next year, we keep in mind like our thoughts of what we want our life to be about, what we want to concentrate on, and what we want to have appear in our lives. Because if this principle is actually true, and if you experiment with it and see that it's actually happening, or you find that you are a powerful manifester in such a way that when you think about something, it happens so fast. When you talk about something, the power of your tongue, you say something, you profess something, and it happens fast. It's very important for us, including myself, which I'm learning, to be mindful of what we are thinking about, what we're talking about our lives. Like if you're consistently telling people, oh, I'm just so sad, or I hate my life, if you say like, just learning how to be mindful of that and shifting our thoughts to, even if it's not what reality looks like right now, it can change. You might see the magic of the universe happening. That's the first thing. So the half law is the judgementalism. um, observing that often we might, not usually because not everyone does this, but sometimes you might want people to behave or be in a certain way that we want them to be, or be like ourselves, but we're all very unique and we're all having our own experiences. So sometimes we start judging people for the things they do, the things they say, the way they live, the way they are. So one of the things that was brought into my attention, because I know I do that I do, and I feel like life was telling me to let go of or to learn how not to be so judgy, because then sometimes, like, you find yourself in the exact same situation, like you'd be judged as well using the same hammer or rod. So you're there, or I'm there, like, this person is always like this person did that, this person said this, I don't think that this person should be like this, I think this person should always be like this, how dare they do that, how what kind of, but we are living such a long and wide life that at some point you might also be to find yourself in the exact same situation and doing the exact same thing that you are judging someone else about, or I was judging someone else for doing or saying or being. So to help avoid that, like, karmic repercussion, to help avoid that karmic repercussion, which I believe that there is karmic repercussions to some things that we do and say, it's important to, like, just be mindful of our thoughts and feelings about situations and people. We'll be out there judging, but you don't know what is going to happen in your life or in the life of the people around you. And definitely that's something I believe that the universe has been, or like the great teacher that is life has been pointing out to me as well, and I thought I would share. So that's the half law. So the one law is the law of attraction and thought. The second, the half law is judgmentalism and not to judge, so law of non-judgmentalism, I would say that. And the third thing is Mercury retrograde. So we are going into December, and we have this common retrograde that everyone knows about called Mercury. So we always joke around it, we're like, Mercury is in Gatorade, and Mercury is in microbraids, So I wanted to maybe explain from an astrological point of view how it works. So retrogrades are basically when, how the planets each have like how Earth has a magnetic pole around it, like we have our own energy as Earth. So when you go to school, you're taught like Earth has like an energy field around it. So do other planets, right? So when we are all going around the sun as planets, so let's say Mercury takes, I think, 30 or 90 days to go around the sun, and Earth takes 365 days, and all the other planets take a specific number of time. So because Mercury goes round fast, it usually passes Earth like 3 times in a year. It passes Earth 3 times in a cycle. So when it passes Earth, it's like overtaking a car. So you see, when you overtake a car, when you're in this car, let's say you're on Earth, yeah, you're overtaking the car, as we are going, boom, and then this is Mercury. Mercury comes and overtakes us, yeah. So during this time, usually when you look at Mercury, it looks like it's moving, it's moving in reverse, meaning it's moving in retrograde. And during that time also, from my understanding, is that our energy fields kind of like brush against each other, so there's that energetic shift for and the time period is about a month and a half for Mercury to pass us completely, to pass our energy field completely. And in astrology, Mercury is connected with communication and transport and thinking, like Mercury, the Greek god of communication, of thinking. And the reason why I believe, and like this from my observation, this happened is because in ancient times, because we've been here for a while, we've had very many civilizations that have used astrology as a tool to read the patterns and signs of the universe, and it's over time, astrology, you could notice that there are specific things that are happening. Like, for instance, let's say every 3 months there's haywire in transportation, you know. So I believe that over time, that's how people started observing that there's an effect that comes, or specific things are affected when Mercury is going into retrograde. So for in astrology, which I am also a student of, it's Mercury affects your communication skills, it affects transportation systems, so it affects like telecommunications, and also for some reason which I don't know yet, when Mercury comes into retrograde, your exes will come back most probably. So but during this period in astrology, it said that it's a time to reflect, to revise, to reflect on past projects, things that you've left halfway, to reflect on your life, to reflect on like things, patterns that are occurring in your life that you'd like to change. So for instance, if let's say your ex comes back to you or something, maybe there's a pattern there that you need to reflect on and let go of, so that you're able to progress into your next stage of development. Because I believe that life is a school and all our souls are learning different lessons, and we're all each other's teachers. So even that ex is your teacher, and you're my teacher and I'm your teacher. So during this time, I'm saying this because there's a retrograde coming, Mercury retrograde coming. Right now in the pre-shadow season, which is like 2 weeks before and after, so you start seeing a little bit of effects of the retrograde. So I wanted to share because I maybe be something that you'll see in mainstream media, and a lot of times people associate it with like negative things, but it's just a pattern of the universe. It's like a storm, it will rain, and the rain will come and pass, and the seeds in the ground will grow. When the sun is back up, it's a pattern and it's a natural occurrence. So it's nothing to be scared of, but it's also something to be intrigued by, and it's something you can learn from. So if you see that your technology is not working well, or you're getting delays, especially it's in Sagittarius and Capricorn. So Sagittarius has a lot of things to do with transport. So maybe during the holidays you have a lot of delays in transport, or you're impatient with people, or you guys are arguing as friends, you have issues in communications. It would be good to also know that maybe it's just external factors like the retrograde that's affecting it, and it will help us to practice patience. And as we are reviewing our year, it's also a great time, because during the retrograde is an amazing time for us to do reviews. Okay, I'm done. This time we don't have any breathing exercise, but hopefully next month, inshallah, if everything goes well, we'll have I'll do a breathing exercise at the end. Otherwise, I hope you've had an amazing November, and have a great December, and happy holidays. If in case I don't wish you happy holidays before the month ends. Otherwise, thank you for watching and have a good one.